Shalom everyone, and hope you're all doing well. I want to share a few quick words about this coming Shabbos Parsha. This week's Parsha has one of the most difficult events in the entire Sefer Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu comes down after learning with the Kadosh Baruch Hu the entire Torah after 40 days, and he comes down and Hashem tells him that Am Yisrael has done a terrible thing. They've created a Chet HaEgel, and Moshe Rabbeinu waits until after he comes down from the Har and he sees Am Yisrael dancing on the Egel. And Vayicharaf Moshe Rabbeinu gets infuriated at what he sees, and he takes the luchos and he smashes the luchos down into pieces. And the question is, how could Moshe Rabbeinu have done such a thing? We know Moshe Rabbeinu, who would know more than Moshe Rabbeinu, the value and the chashivas and the treasure of what a Torah is all about. Everything is about the Torah. We know Yom HaShishi, the world was created for the day that Klal Yisrael would receive the Torah. We know the entire Yetzias Mitzrayim, Ta'avdun Oti Al Har Hazeh, everything was in order that Klal Yisrael would reach the time where they come to Matan Torah and receive the Torah from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Torah was created before the world was created, that everything in the world was created for the Torah. On and on and on, Chazal tells us of how chashuv the Torah is. And Moshe Rabbeinu takes it and he throws it down. What he thought we were going to have no Torah. He thought Am Yisrael was going to live without the Torah. The world was going to go back to Tov Avo. Nothing exists anymore because the Torah is gone. What was he thinking? And there are a lot of different answers, but I just want to share an idea that Reb Shimon Shkop says in Hakdamah to Shara Yosher. A beautiful, beautiful idea and a beautiful message for us. Moshe Rabbeinu saw Klal Yisrael and he saw what they were doing. And the Luchos HaRishonos had a special skula, a special element in the first Luchos, that anything a person would learn would stick with them. And if a person learned a Daf, a person learned a Rashi, a person learned a Rashba, a person learned a Rambam, whatever he learned, it would stick with him forever. And Moshe Rabbeinu saw that Klal Yisrael was doing the Chet HaEgel, and they had the ability to do such a terrible Aveira and such a terrible action on the one hand. On the other hand, they would learn Torah, they'd be full of Torah, and you would have people who their Torah amount that they would have would be totally inconsistent with the actions that they were doing in this world. And Moshe Rabbeinu saw this inconsistency and said, this is not shy. We can't have such a situation where people are going to be doing such terrible actions and averas on the one hand, and immoral things, and things that lack emunah. On the other hand, we're going to have people who are full of Torah and know a ton, and are great, great Talmidei Chachamim. That's not consistent with the Torah. And therefore Moshe Rabbeinu took the Luchos and he smashed them. And he said that the Torah has to be a situation where it's going to be proportional to what a person learns and how a person prepares himself and how a person acts. That's the type of Torah he's going to have. And if a person is Vayisol Luchos, Moshe Rabbeinu, the second Luchos was Posel Luchos. A person, he chooses out the Luchos, the second Luchos, because each person has to prepare his own Luchos. And according to our preparation, and according to the type of individuals that we are, that's the amount of Torah we're going to have. And the more we perfect ourselves, the greater individuals we are, the more Torah we'll be able to intake and to internalize, and the less that we are, the less Torah we're going to have. And that's what was mitzchadesh in the second luchos, is that it's proportionate to the person, and the luchos on our hearts that we prepare for ourselves, and the people that we create for ourselves as individuals, that is going to be proportionate to the amount of Torah that we can retain. And therefore, it's so important that we should be zoche to Yot Tzur Kadosh Baruch Hu, bein Adam l'chaveiro, bein Adam l'makom, that both halves of the luchos together, and to be mamshich to Yamleches Kohanim, the Goy Kadosh, and to continue to be great exemplary ambassadors of the Kadosh Baruch Hu in this world. Shabbat Shalom.